Marlene 411, and welcome to today's conversation and podcast. Thank you all so much for your support. So, I wanted to talk to you guys about self-healing journey. And on this channel, we speak about how important it is to heal from the traumatic wounds from various relationships. But today I want to talk about something that's a positive and possible, because it's very important for us to understand that even when we experience traumatic things in our lives, that we still can do something about it. We don't have to stay in that pain and that trauma and that stress and that doubt and that fear for the rest of our life. That we have hope, and hope is one of the best things that you can ever do for yourself. To have the hope of change, of promises, of healing, of prosperity. But hey, Lara, how are you doing? But we each have to be in that space and position to want better in our lives, to want peace, to want happiness, to want that healing. So first off, we have to be in that space, that mindset of thinking that I want change. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be miserable. I don't want to be unhappy anymore. And nobody can do that for you but you. And I know, coming from things happening to me in my life that were very traumatic, and I was angry. And many times we are justifiably angry for the things that people do to us that hurts us, backstabbing, abandonment, disrespect, on and so forth. There's so many traumatic things that I couldn't name all of them, but we all know the things that scar us and hurt us and bring pain in our lives. But I wanted to talk to you guys about, implanting those seeds of hope. It's important for us to know that while people did things to us that was hurtful, traumatic, or you saw things you shouldn't see, or people did something to you that was not right, through all of that, there is always some healing that can happen for us. But we have to want to be in that space of saying, I want to heal from whatever traumatic thing that happened to me, no matter what it is, no matter how heavy, no matter how dark, no matter how mean, difficult it was, no matter how you felt in that moment when whatever it is that traumatized you happened. There's some things that we can do to heal our heart, to heal our mind, to heal how we look at the situation. So I wanted to start off this conversation by saying that it's not just that we were traumatized, we were hurt, we were abandoned, we were disrespected, we were taken advantage of, used, and abused, that it's more than that. Excuse me. It's more than just saying that we went through these things and it was wrong. Yes, it was wrong. It should never have happened to you. But at the same time, as adults, we have to give ourselves the permission to change the way we look at it and to heal. And each of us has to want to heal. I can't emphasize that enough. Coming from many traumatic things in my life, and I know that many of you who are listening right now have been through many traumatic and difficult things in your life, maybe from your childhood onward, that should not have happened. But as adults, we have to give ourselves the permission to say, this, however many things that happened to you that was traumatic. As adults, we have to be able to give ourselves the permission to say, I no longer want to be angry. I no longer want to give my power away to others that hurt me. I want to have a new narrative in my life. And we're going to be talking about some of those things, okay? Yes, Lara, never give up. So the first thing that can help us when as far as healing from trauma is learning how to be patient with ourselves. That is number one. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a therapist, I'm a life coach, but also I am a woman that has been through many traumatic things. I spent many years of therapy, but at the same time, I am not here to tell anybody how to handle their life, handle their situation. I just want to be an inspiration and encouragement, because when each of us gets traumatized by something, it's so heavy to carry that around. To after a while, it's harder and harder to bury that pain, to push those skeletons to the back of your closet, to keep those secrets. And it's time for us to let go of those secrets, okay? So, number one, we have to learn how to be patient. Patience is the key to healing, and not patience with other people, but learning to be patient with ourselves. I can't tell you guys how much we as human beings, we always want to rush things. Okay, it's time for me to be over this, or maybe other people around you that are not kind to you, not understanding. Want to tell you that you should be over that. Why are you still talking about it? However long that you need to give yourself to heal from it, give yourself that permission. Don't let anybody try to challenge you or tell you how you should feel. That's first off. You have to know how you feel. And I want you to write that down somewhere, like in a journal. Um, Journaling has been monumental to my healing journey. And when you start writing things down, you get things out of your head, out of your heart, or things that you've been carrying around, carrying on your back, things that you've been carrying that you should not have to carry. And that means that you're going to have to learn to be patient with yourself. Everybody has a different walk, a different journey in this life. But one thing that each of us as adults have to learn, and that is learning to be patient with ourselves. I can't tell you guys, I can't say this enough. Number one, be patient with yourself. Don't let other people, don't let what you see on TV or what your relatives have to say, or friends or any other person in your life tell you how you should be healing. If you need 30 years, then take 30 years. But one thing I want to say to everybody, and this channel is all about a self-healing journey, and speaking about traumatic things, painful things, and things that, saddened you, hurt you. But the reason why this is the number one point of being patient with yourself is because this world, people in our lives are not patient. We live in this microwave society where we just have to be like, hurry up and wait, right? But it's time for us to say, it's time for me to slow down and focus on me. So you take your time, for whatever you need. Slow down enough to hear your own thoughts. How do I feel about this? It doesn't matter how long ago it was. This could have been 30, 40 years ago. It could have been 5 years ago, or it could have been something that happened to you this very year. But why we talk about these things about a trauma healing journey is because we each deserve to heal from it and to not carry around that weight, that pressure, that burden, that sadness, that pain, that disruption, dysfunction, and have new things in our life that we're going to be talking about a little bit later. Hi, Miss Charlene. How are you doing? The Chilwell crew in the house. How are you doing? Blessings to you too. Yes, yes. Can you please like, share, and subscribe? Really appreciate it. So that was the first thing, everybody. In this trauma healing journey, we really need to learn to be patient with ourselves. That's number one. Now, number two is that it's going to take time. And they say that time is a healer. So when it comes to whatever happened to you, however many months, days, years ago, whatever traumatized you happened, take the time that you need. And it has to be in your time. Not, I'm not talking about like days and months time. I mean giving yourself the kindness to say, I'm going to take time for me, take your precious moments so you can go for your walks, go to your therapy or group support, or talk to people that actually listen to you. That's what I mean when I say taking time, is giving yourself those moments. And a lot of times we get so used to, as adults, to focusing so much on giving our time to frivolous things, negative things, things that is not supportive. You'll give your time to your family and friends and a job and so many things and people. But the thing that is the most important thing, ourselves, we forget about. We forget to put on our own oxygen mask. We forget that it's time for us to breathe. And when we give ourselves the permission to breathe again, and to heal, that it's my time to heal, that I'm going to address things, I'm going to think about. So when I say time is a healer, it means slowing down, taking a deep breath, addressing it, not keep running from that elephant in the room that you've been running from, that you've been denying, that you just don't want to talk about. And most of us don't like to talk about things that was very traumatic in our lives. It's not a natural thing because we're human beings and we don't want to talk about things that was painful and hurtful and traumatized us and made us sad, made us feel some type of way. But the reason why it's important for us to take time to address the situations and problems and give ourselves the permission to heal is when we are healed, when we are taking care of ourselves, we can be present for the people that we really love. And you'll find that all of your relationships will heal when you heal. When you feel better about yourself, you're able to give your pure love to other people, support, kindness. You'll be more understanding. And I know for sure, me giving myself that permission to take time for me, not that I have extra time or you have extra time, but it's making that time, whether it be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour every day, taking that time consistently for yourself. Because we talk about this all the time, how much we love ourselves and how valuable we are, and how much we want peace and we're seeking it. But if we don't make the time, square off time for ourselves, who's going to do that for us? And we're going to keep selecting toxicity, toxic people, because you draw in like a magnet who you are. So if you're angry, you're going to notice that your friendships will be angry. Who you're in a relationship will be angry, toxic, dysfunctional, because until you fix and heal your inner child, your inner self, and come to a space of peace, you're going to keep selecting toxic, angry, things that's just not good for us. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation today, because we each deserve to be at a space of peace. And I wish that peace for every single one of you. So that was number two, giving yourself time and making time. Number three is communication. In order to heal from trauma, we have to communicate. And I don't mean communicate with everybody, because everyone does not get access to our personal, private, deepest and darkest thoughts. That that's only people that show that they can be trusted, that are understanding with us, that really listen, and are kind, and are supportive of whatever it is that we need, not what they want to give us. And that is the very important part about trauma healing, is you have to understand that not all individuals are going to be supportive of your healing, because many people just want to cover over that. They want to ignore it because they don't want to face the truth, the reality, what really and truly happened. So, where do we go in order to be able to get those thoughts out of our head? We have to create safe spaces. Hey Sirius, how are you doing? Welcome in. Yes, happy Motivational Monday. I'm doing amazing. I hope you are as well. That's one of the things that I had to learn for myself in trauma healing, is that I had to create safe spaces for me. It's finding healthy relationships, finding people who listen, and people who communicate, and people who aren't angry, and just people who are at a space of peace in their life, because you can't make people in your life listen, support, be kind, be understanding. We can't make that. So you have to create those sort of relationships. And especially during trauma healing, you have to have people in your life that are supportive, so that you can communicate how you're feeling. I know for many years, with so many things that traumatized me from my childhood up into my adulthood, I didn't feel like I could communicate. So there's many things that I buried and I hid, because it wasn't a safe space. I didn't feel comfortable that I could talk about what I was going through, what I experienced, what I was feeling, because the people around me were not communicators. Or if they talked about it, it was just, just very abrupt, and not really a deep dive into what what I was feeling, or maybe what you are feeling. So you have to make sure that it's people who are at this space of maturity and healing and peace, and want to be there for you. So that's why I say you have to create safe spaces for healing. You have to create that. Finding healthy relationships. And where do we find those healthy relationships? I found my healthy relationships for people that I could communicate with in support groups. And if you guys have not looked online, there's many safe spaces that you can go and talk about how you feel. And these things are free. Um, like going for, you guys have heard of places like AA. There's also those safe spaces for those who have been victimized by SA, DV, seeing someone that you love, be assaulted, those who suffer from verbal abuse, emotional abuse. There's so many things that can traumatize us, and the list goes on and on. But I just wanted to put that out there, that there are agencies out there to help us, to support us, but we are the ones that have to say, I need support. I need help. I need to talk about this. And also, if you don't want to go in person, there's many online support groups through various social media sites that you can, of course, remain anonymous and just go. And sometimes I just go to some support groups and just listen. And sometimes I'll be like, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. If you try to tell somebody who has never been through what you have been through, a person can be kind to you and be a good listener, but if they've never been there for you, they really can't be there on that level to tell you what that feels like, to have that level of empathy. So that's why I love a support group. So I encourage anybody who has been through some heavy things in your life, reach out and join a support group. I can't tell you how much support groups have helped me, from the times where I've just been in like the fetal position in bed, crying my eyes out, like looking into space, being in a very dark space mentally, and reaching out and going to one of those support groups online or in person has really made the difference in my healing, because listening and talking about how you feel with people who understand what it's like. And I'm not saying that it's going to be, oh, you went through the same exact thing, but people who have been through something similar, you really feel like you can finally take a deep breath and say, okay, I can finally express myself. If that makes sense to you guys. Hey, James, how are you doing? Welcome in. So that's how it has been for me, to have that sort of safeness and feeling like I'm protected here. It's okay for me to talk, because when it comes to relatives or friends, you may not want to let them into those dark spaces. And also, sometimes they don't care. They don't care about how you're feeling and what you're going through. And I hate that, but it's the truth. If we're going to speak honestly, openly, and transparently, that you could be going through some really heavy things, but the people in our lives don't want to hear about those dark things. They just are sometimes not supportive, or our very own relatives and friends are the reason for the trauma that we have experienced. So there's that as well. I'm glad you're doing good, James. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. Hope everybody had a good Monday. So we're going to go in on point number 4 for the trauma healing, and that is that we have to be compassionate to ourselves. Now, this is something that it's a learned behavior. As adults, we have to learn how to be compassionate, to apply compassion to ourselves, being self compassionate. That usually we give compassion to everybody in our lives. You know, we show up for people, we listen, there's empathy, we're kind to them. But when it comes to ourselves, do you make application of compassion to yourself? And I'll give you some experience, some examples of that. When we're talking about compassion with ourselves, do you pause and think about, how is my mental health? Is what the traumas that I've experienced, is it affecting my physical health? Those are the things that we really need to be thinking about when we talk about trauma healing. And I've been there, I've done that, bought the t-shirt, all of it, thinking oh, I'm okay, because we'll tell ourselves, I'm fine. I got over that. Really? But have you? Or are you just telling yourself as a way to self regulate, to try to just move on with your life? Because, of course, life continues to happen and you need to be doing things in your life. But at the same time, if you feel darkness, heaviness, like it's so much to carry, it's okay. It's okay, loved ones, for us to pause and to say, I need to be taking care of me. It's time for some healing for myself, mentally, emotionally, physically. Well, fill in the space of where you need healing and take the time. Make the time. We make room for everybody in our lives, but are you making room for yourself, room for your peace and your healing, and just your mental health that you absolutely need? I feel like it's necessary to pause from time to time, and especially coming into the end of the year, uh, usually around from October to January, is very difficult for many people, because the year is ending and is starting a new one, and there's a lot of reasons why the end of the year is difficult for many. And my heart goes out to each and every one of you that has been through some heavy things in your life, and it's difficult, and you miss certain individuals maybe that have passed on, or have just not in your life anymore for one reason or the other. And it's hard. This is a hard time of the year, and I know that many people suffer with depression and loneliness. We're going to keep it real over here. There's no sugarcoating or fakeness. Many people get very sad during this time of the year, feel very lonely, feel very gullible, not gullible, vulnerable. That's the word I was reaching for, and they really need some support. So I just wanted to tell you guys that if you can't find that support and love uh, in your own circle of people that you have right now, search for it. Therapy is there, counseling, support groups, online and in person, and also getting yourself a mentor or a life coach. It really does make a difference. I know that, like myself, many years ago, I remember when I was on my journey to healing, and I wanted some support. I was looking for myself a therapist, but at the same time I was battling with myself, because I don't know about you all, but for many years I was always told, like, oh, if you go to therapy, like, something's wrong with you, you're weird, you're strange, you're crazy. But the same people who are telling you that, oh, if you go to therapy, you're crazy, are actually people who are crazy. They are the same people who need help. They're the same people who are mentally unstable. So don't follow other people for the standard, because remember, this is your life and you deserve to be happy. And if you're not at a space of peace, then you need to be doing some work, pouring some love into yourself. And therapy taught me that it was okay for me to press the pause button, and it's okay for me for once in my life to put on my own oxygen mask, because sometimes we're not breathing, we're surviving, but we're not enjoying our life, we're not at peace, there's no joy. So that's the reason why I say that we have to apply that compassion to ourselves, okay? And this point right here, I have to tell you guys, has been essential in my healing journey, and that's getting support. Getting support will do everything thing for you. I don't know how many of you have had people in your life that are very non supportive. I'm one of those people that I have people in my life that, people will talk a good talk and say how much they love you and they care about you and all of these things, right? Yada yada yada. I'm here. Call me if you need me. And guess what? Crickets, right? Crickets. But we know who are the people who truly support us, and we know the people who don't. So, for the first time in my life, I had to learn to stop believing the lie, feeding myself this fantasy story that all of these people support me and care about me and love me when I know that they don't. Um, for myself, and I'm only speaking for me, Marlene, mm, I know that I was not getting the support that I needed and that I deserved because the same people who say that they support me are the same people that were causing pain in my life, because they are the same individuals that are immature, they're not growing, they don't want to talk about things, they don't communicate, they're angry. And I don't blame other people for why they are in the position that they are, because we all inherit a bad deck of cards sometimes. Like the way your life played out is not easy to deal with. People have some heavy things that they have had to deal with, but as an adult, that's not okay anymore. As a child, of course, you were not in control of that, but as adults now, we have to say it's time for me to start taking care of myself emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, all of it, as the list goes on and on, because it's all a part of our well being. We can't be well, we can't be happy, we can't be our best self until we give ourselves the permission to go through this list right here and say that I do deserve to be patient with myself. And that does not make me selfish. I'm not a selfish person. I'm not mean. Actually, it's the opposite. Because I am learning for the first time in my life to pause, press that pause button, and spend some time to be patient with me. Slow down a little bit, okay? Give myself some time. Like, it's time for me to think about myself. And that is such a wonderful thing. And I will encourage every single one of you loved ones, if you have not paused, hit that pause button and stop thinking about everybody else in your life. And we think a lot of times that we're helping, we're supporting other people, but we have to stop with this savior complex. I was that way for such a long time, feeling that I had to save and support everybody else, but who needed to be saved and supported? Me. Probably you. So many of us, we need to be saved ourselves and to stop trying to save everybody else. I feel like that's a really good message for this topic and conversation. We really need to be thinking about saving ourselves, our mental health. How are we doing? Actually pausing from time to time and asking ourselves that, am I okay? Is there anything that I need to be healing and working on so I can be better and have more peace in my life? Just something for you guys to think about when you're having your solo time. The second point was giving yourself time, like not rushing, not a hurried thing, but giving yourself time sometimes just to sit, maybe in nature, in quiet, or giving yourself time to journal, or self care, whatever it is that you're doing, but giving yourself time, making time for you. I make time for me because I love myself. And that was something that my therapist, my coach, my mentor, accountability partner, so many people in my life that have poured into me has taught me that it's okay for me to make time for me. and not for me to ask permission from other people. For me to say, yeah, this is mandatory, this is necessary, so I can be healthier in all aspects of my life. And I want to say that to all of you. You deserve to be happy in all aspects of your life, but the only way that you can do that is by making time for yourself. And this third point about communication. Thank you so much, Charlene. I really appreciate it. I think this part right here about communication, there's many ways that we can communicate, and everybody communicates different. Some people communicate well, and some people don't communicate at all. But that's something that I think that we each need to learn how to communicate better with ourselves. Like, I had to learn for once in my life to say no and setting those boundaries, communicating. I need time for me, and that's not optional. Like, literally turning my phone off, not being accessible. We have to stop allowing ourselves to be accessible to everybody in our life. That every time they call or they want us, we make ourselves available. No, you have to black out moments. This is my time, okay? Whether it be 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, whatever you need to be okay. This is a part of that healing journey. You may need to start teaching people in your life that, oh, they get time for themselves. And that is a learned thing. That is how we train people how to treat us. And I'm telling you that when you start making time for you, the people in your life are either going to be on board with it or they're going to fall out of your life. I never realized how much toxic, you know, toxic, destructive, selfish, manipulative people that I had in my life until I started to do healthy, peaceful, working on like the right things, like setting those boundaries that you will call me. You're not going to just have me sitting here all day waiting for you. You have to learn first how to treat yourself better, and then everybody else is going to follow that standard, or they will not be a part of your life. That is a part of that healing journey. And I'm telling you, when you release things in your life, when you heal, when you forgive, and that forgiveness is not just you forgiving the situation or the person, but it's also forgiving yourself that you wouldn't allow yourself to let it go, because that is a part that I learned in going through therapy, is that we have to stop trying to hold on to the control. I'm not gonna forgive that. Yeah, I don't want to, and we all do it because we're upset, we're angry, about what happened and what a person did to us. But the only person at the end of it that we wind up hurting is ourselves. We think we are hurting other people by giving them the silent treatment or doing certain other things, but that's toxic behavior. And as adults, that's not acceptable. See, we want to be better people. We have to take ownership of all of it. We're going to be healthy mentally, and we're also going to have healthy behaviors and mindsets and the way we show up. And we're going to communicate and be honest. And the people who don't want to do that for us as well, those are the people that we have to cut off. Like, it's not optional. We can't play games when it comes to ourself, and we can't heal and be happy with having people who don't care about our feelings and our opinions, and they're notorious for ghosting us and being disrespectful and not respecting our boundaries that we have. So I did want to say that to everybody. Make sure that you have people in your life that respect your boundaries. And if they don't, then it means that you could stand to lose them from your life. And that's one of the ways that I know I for sure started healing when I stopped allowing myself to negotiate, like, and we'll negotiate. Oh yeah, that's my friend, or oh, they love me. No, you tell yourself that they love you, or you tell yourself things because of what they say, but actually what do they do? How do they treat you? How do they show up for you? Do they listen to you, or do they control how you should react? Those are the things that we have to really be cognizant, and that's why it's important to be alone and to really think about, all right, is this a good person in my life? Am I growing, or am I stagnant for the moment? And when you're around people who are toxic, you won't grow. You won't grow mentally. You won't grow in peace. Actually, it will be the opposite. Your mental health will be more messed up. You'll feel sad. You'll feel lonely, very discouraged. People will put you down, laugh at you at your expense, right? And that is not what we need. But each of us has to have that journey for ourselves to say and get to that point where we can look at ourselves in the mirror and to say, I deserve better than this, whoever that is, whether it's from your romantic relationship to siblings, or relatives or friends, or so-called, as I say, so-called friends, and they're not really. So being honest with yourself and giving yourself the permission to remove yourself from spaces that you're not growing so that you can focus on yourself and really not get distracted, because being distracted will really cause you to not heal. We got two more points and then we're going to get out of here. So I'm doing this recap about healing, trauma healing, and it's very important for us to be compassionate with ourselves. I don't know about you guys, but therapy taught me that I needed to be compassionate to myself. And the majority of us will say that we love ourselves, right? Oh, I love myself, and I'm there for myself. But are we really? Really think about that. When do you take time for yourself? How compassionate are you with yourself? Are you really in tune? Are you self aware of how you feel? And are you changing? Are you pivoting to make other people happy in your life? Are you trying to make things work, or is it working? Because that's two different things. And I never realized that before, is that I was forcing people. I was giving myself this, giving myself this narrative. Oh, my life is this way, when it actually wasn't. When you learn to be honest with yourself, you can stop living your life with rose-colored glasses. This this is not good. This person doesn't treat me right, or this is traumatic in my life. This person's disrespectful, abusive, whatever it is. So, um, I think this is a very important conversation for us to be having. So we have one more point here, and this is the fifth point, and that is get support. Now, this is the point of this conversation where I say get get support that you need, whether it's through a therapist, a counselor, and there's so many 1-800 numbers that you can call and be anonymous. There's in-person support, there's online support, there's friends, there's accountability partners. There's so much people that we can get support from. But what is not okay is just saying I don't have support and then accepting that as it's okay. It's not okay. If you don't have people in your life that are supportive and understanding and are helping you on your journey to your healing, then it's time for us to find support. That's something that's not optional. You have to make your path. And if you want to be on the road to peace and healing and happiness and joy in your life, the only way that we can get there is that we have to have people in our life that actually give it back. As Realist One always says, reciprocation, right? So it has to go back and forth. It can't just be us being everybody's friend. We can't just be everybody's support. We can't be that the savior complex, trying to help and save and support everybody. We each deserve to be supported as well. So I am really hoping that this conversation will get some of you to sit down, maybe and pause after this live is over. I hope that there will be a few that will take out a pen and paper and jot down some things that they need to deal with. Whether it's from you were a little girl or a little boy up into, your childhood, some experiences. Maybe it's some things that you still are battling with, and that's where that compassion is going to come in. That's where that self-love and that support. um, I don't do this channel for accolades, but I know what it feels like to feel so down, so discouraged, so low, and to not have anybody that I could open up and talk to because the people around me really didn't care what I was going through and dealing with if it wasn't about them. So I can say I know what it feels like to be unsupported, but ultimately we have to make some changes, some choices, and learn that it's okay for me to heal. It's my time to heal. So I say that to all of you, and I wish you all well in your journey of your trauma healing. Like I said, I have my email, and um, I talk offline with many people anonymously because not everybody wants to share things on social media, and I get that. But if you have nobody to talk to, I would rather you send a message to me and to say this and this and this, and I just want someone to talk to. And I think everybody needs somebody to support them. And I want you all to know that each of you have value and importance, and you all are loved and capable, and you deserve that peace in your life. And whatever has been heavy or dark in your life, I hope that it lifts. I want it to lift for you, but you are the one that has to do some of that work for it to lift. You're gonna have to remove some toxic people or the toxic thinking, and also giving yourself the time, making time for you, because we each deserve to spend time on ourselves and to friend ourselves and to listen to ourselves and be our own cheerleaders and advocates. So that's the reason why I do this channel, for trauma healing and support. I want to thank each and every one of you for spending your time. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. And for all of you who support, shout out to all of my amazing mods and channel members, and old and new subscribers, for being a part of the loved ones. I assure you, each and every one of you are loved, and I hope you apply some of that love to yourself. It's not easy. This life isn't easy. Things that happen to us in this life is not easy, But what is important is that we pause long enough to say, I am important, valuable, and worthy enough to be at peace. So I wish you nothing but positive vibes on your journey of healing. And like I said, that's the reason why I do this channel. So I wish you all well and the best, and take care of yourself. Do what's necessary so that you can be your best, from screaming out loud, to writing in your journal, to getting a therapist, spending time with loved ones who will really listen to you so that you can open up your heart without judgment, or going to a support group, or giving back. Whatever it is that you need to do that's going to help you to heal, then do it. Okay? And I thank you guys so much for being a part of this channel. It means more than you know. It. I do these things for those who need some healing, like how I felt years ago when I first started on my journey of self healing and self love journey and trauma healing. Or you've been doing this for a long time. Wherever you are in your life, what is important is that you love yourself. Okay? Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you, Sirius, Charlene, Lara, James. I appreciate every single one of you, and anybody who passed through listening in the replay. Thank you guys so much for your support. I wish you nothing but healing vibes and peace. Please do whatever is necessary so that you can have peace. Know that you're valuable, loved, and important. And I will see you guys on the next one. Let's see. Lair says, thank you. Blessing. Sirius says, some people suffer in silence. They are so unsure about their own life. Yes. And that's why I do this. Don't suffer in silence. Talk to somebody. Journal about it. Whatever it is that you need to do it. Okay? Thank you guys. Thank you, James and Sirius, and everybody who supported this live stream. Make sure you leave me a comment in the comment section below if you are listening in the replay. And I will tap back in on Thursday for the Sip and Chat with my co host, Miss Nexie. Bye bye.